Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this. Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
Everyone's idiots.
I am Nadella. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landen.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hi.
And we are here to talk all things CES this week. Listener, I'm going to warn you now, I am not feeling very well. So I probably won't be talking as much this episode. And
He
this
looks
is probably
like death, listener. It's legitimately.
I mean, it's probably better than what you've called me before, but my humor's not gone. Just kidding. I'll probably fall asleep back here. But listener, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about CES. And I'm going to hand the reins over to Caleb and Landon for this one. And I'm going to be in the background making funny, uncommittal noises is what's going to happen.
Perfect.
So
that'll work.
Go ahead, you guys. I'll let you take over. Caleb, you start us off. Why don't you do that?
I will start. Oh man, listener, I have things to say. No, the CES 2006, the Consumer Electronics Show, has been an interesting one in that I feel like if you're going to call something a consumer electronics show, the electronics should mostly be geared towards consumers. And as a consumer, I gotta say, I do not feel like that's what this show was. A large portion of it seemed to just be big companies making crap for other big companies. And I'm like, you guys are at the wrong trade show. Anyways, So to help them out, I decided I would come up with a few new meanings for the CES acronym so that they can keep using that and completely change the show's, what it is. So for next year, CES, if you're listening, you could go with curbing enthusiasm, surely, because I've got to say, curbed my enthusiasm pretty effectively. There was a whole bunch of stuff about AI, chatbots in everything. Like you could get a chatbot in a stuffed dog now. You can obviously have your robot vacuum listening to everything you say and responding with words, which, of course, that's what we all wanted. In relation to that, since, data security is kind of an issue for a lot of these companies, canceling everyone's safety. Just leak it all. And then, if you want to name the podcast specifically for this, or if you wanted to make the show specifically for this podcast, I think that I can get on board with every year our episode about CES. We basically change our name to the Calling Everything Shit podcast, because that is sort of what it has become. Pardon my French.
Wait, I need to write that down. Hold on.
So
we have an awards we need to, let's see, here we go. Let's see.
Best tech name of the year.
Best tech name. It's best made up tech name of the year. Let's see. Yeah.
So, listener, you may be able to tell somewhat that I've had a bit of a discouraging week watching the news from CES. I wrote my thoughts about the majority of it into a single paragraph so that I could limit myself to just this paragraph. So I'm going to read this, listener. Yeah. I'm just going to read it. This is my opinion, right? Does not represent the views of Landon and Wes necessarily. I do not speak for the podcast. I speak for myself in this moment right now. But this is hopefully the negative bit for me. And then I can just talk about the cool things, right? Because there were some. So let's get the negative thing out of the way. The overwhelming majority of stuff at CES this year was either AI focused or designed to serve AI functionality in some way. And once again, it was reinforced to me that nobody managing the development and proliferation of AI has any idea what is of value to the average consumer. AI chatbots and broad generative AI tools all exist to justify the enormous financial circle jerk that is the current tech industry, and the insidious rush of companies to shove the technology into their products indicates a heinous desire to appeal to Wall Street investors, not the consumers who actually buy their stuff. This mindset is cancerous, results in the unit sales declines we've seen across some segments of the industry, which in turn lead to price hikes, which leads to further sales decline, which leads to stagnation of technology as a whole. But don't worry, we're starting to see the signs that the AI bubble is going to collapse soon, and assuming we all survive the recession that follows, we should see a return to form after that. There were some signs of that collapse at CES, but I'm not going to talk about them because that's negative. And I'm done, right? We're done with the negative bits. We're just going to talk about the good things. So I made a list of things for consumers at the Consumers Electronics Show. This is stuff that you, listener, might actually care about and might actually consider buying. So, first off, Intel was there. Bless them.
We did. There was a pulse check. They were there and alive.
Yep. It's been just about 10 years since I was cheering for Intel's death at the hands of AMD with Ryzen still in its early days. And full circle, they are now the underdog that I am cheering for, and I'm upset with AMD. Wild chain of events.
You need to repeat that. What did you say?
It's nuts. I
think the medicine
Intel.
is talking.
No, you did not mishear that.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. And hey, the podcast has been here to track me through that entire process.
It's true.
You can go listen to 10 years of episodes, listener, and just about 10 years. Not quite. But yeah, so Intel was there. They were showing off their Panther Lake Core Ultra 3 series processors in various laptops. Several different SKUs of them, from low-end laptops to higher-end laptops. Nothing like super bleeding edge, right? These are not going to be, they're frankly not going to be beating AMD's high-performance laptop chips, but they're not bad. And mostly, I'm just stoked with the built-in XE graphics that they're putting onto these things, which are, for once, better than AMD's built-in graphics on laptops. So that's pretty cool. To the extent that Dell actually showed up, announced a whole bunch of laptops. We'll get to talking about Dell a little bit later, but all of them were using XE graphics on their Intel chips. No discrete graphics cards in those laptops, which I thought was pretty bold. Like that's a choice, but they seem to have faith in these Intel integrated graphics, which is the first time I think anyone has said that phrase.
Yeah, seriously.
So that's nice. It's nice to see Intel showing up and actually doing something cool, Okay, next one, AMD's 9850X3D. Now, the only reason that AMD would make this chip is to make games run even faster on their processors, right? They already had the fastest gaming chip. It was called the 9800X3D. The 9850X3D is low-hanging fruit, right? It's the same processor, just clocked a tiny bit faster, and I think a little bit more cache or something like that. But it's the only credit that I'm going to give them this year. The only reason to make this processor is for consumers, right? This is not like, they're not selling this to professionals. This is not going into data centers or anything like that, unlike the majority of the products they talked about. This is made for gamers, people who want to build gaming PCs. Okay. I appreciate that AMD is not just is not pulling in Intel and just stopping development of their CPUs. They are kind of pulling in NVIDIA and stopping development of consumer CPUs because they want to make everything for data centers now. But, something did happen. I will give them credit. The 9850X3D exists for consumers. All right. Next up, couple of ones. I am theoretically the Apple guy on this podcast. Apple, of course, doesn't go to CES. Like, they don't show up at CES and announce anything anymore. They used to, back when they were cool and fun. Anyways, but companies that make things for Mac users do still show up to Consumer Electronics Show and show stuff off. And so this year we had the Satechi Thunderbolt 5 Cube dock, which is just a Thunderbolt 5 dock, to be clear. Anybody who has a Thunderbolt 5 compatible, or even Thunderbolt 4, because they are backwards compatible, device can totally buy this thing and use it as a dock for their computer. But it literally looks exactly like a Mac Mini, so this is obviously designed for Apple users. And docks for Macs are like a lifestyle for Apple users. This thing absolutely is loaded and looks just like the Mac Mini, includes an SSD bay for storage expansion, which is, as an Apple user, is really nice. Apple's base level storage is always a little bit on the thin side, so having the ability to expand that and also expand your ports to like quadruple the number that are on the machine to begin with, that's really nice. You do it with one cable, just plug it in. That's great. Also, it does provide charging through that one cable as well. So if you want to use it with a laptop, absolutely can do that. I think it was it 75 watts max charging throughput, which is not the absolute max that the 16-inch MacBook Pros can take, but it's solid, right? Like that'll charge your laptop handily. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a good looking dock. It's expensive. Accessories designed for Macs are always expensive. It's something you kind of have to live with. The next one is I don't know how they want people to pronounce their company's name. I would pronounce it Intricate, but it's CUIT at the end. Like they wanted to go with circuit or something. But I don't know. Anyways, Intricate. Spelled weird. The product is the Magic Screen. And I personally still argue that touchscreen Mac laptops are a dumb idea because Apple's trackpads beat the pants off of a touchscreen experience every day of the week. But still, it's hard to argue that something like this, it's just a touchscreen digitizer that you snap on top of your laptop display, plugs in via a cable to the laptop, and gives you touchscreen support on your Mac. It's basically a toy that can't be for anyone other than general consumers. So there you go. And people seem to want to insist, PC users mostly, that everybody wants touchscreen on their Macs. And I don't think that's true, because this isn't the first time that a company has made some kind of a third-party solution for touchscreen Macs. And every time it's happened before, the company has gone out of business because nobody was buying it. Now, granted, in the past, it's tended to be, we're going to take a Mac, we're going to completely disassemble it and rebuild it as a tablet, which is dumb because the iPad exists. So don't do that. But, so maybe this is a cheaper solution. Maybe more people will go for it. I do think it's nice to have the option, right? I think it's cool to have the option, but I do think that anybody who gets this and uses it on a Mac is just going to go back to using their trackpad because the trackpad's better. Having used touchscreen PC laptops, just having a good trackpad honestly makes it totally pointless. So
yeah. And my thought has always been, if you really, really want a touchscreen Mac, buy the largest iPad Pro with a keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a very similar experience now. Like the way the OS works on iPad is, obviously it's still different than Mac OS, but once you connect a keyboard and mouse, it is very similar.
It is, and it's getting more and more similar every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, and I agree. And honestly, a lot of my opinion on this is informed by using an iPad, where the whole, I'm sitting there typing and then you have to reach up and touch the screen in order to navigate stuff like that. And every time I had to do that, I was just like, I wish I had a trackpad.
Yeah.
I wish I had a trackpad over here. I would rather, it's just more comfortable. It's more usable. Granted, it's nice if you have the ability to get the keyboard out of the way and then just use the thing like a tablet. But that's not what anyone's asking for with Mac laptops, right? They're not asking for Apple to turn them into iPads or, those Lenovo Yoga things that like have the 360 hinge and whatnot, folds the keyboard around the back because the iPad exists, right? You want a tablet, get the iPad. They were like, no, you want a touchscreen on your Mac because the touchscreen interface is much better than a trackpad. And I'm like, if you've only ever used an HP laptop, then you're right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I understand where you're coming from, but spend some time on a Mac with an Apple trackpad using the OS with that trackpad. I think you will discover that, nope, in fact, the touchscreen is just them trying to make up for the fact that their trackpads bite. So anyways, that was a lot more said about a thing that I think is a neat toy. so there you go. The next one is the Clix Communicator. So Clix, you may remember from last year, is the company that made a keyboard case for your iPhone that added a physical QWERTY keyboard, BlackBerry style, below it. So turned your really tall phone into an even taller phone.
Yeah.
And then wanted to make you hold it at the very, very bottom to type on it so that it would just like fall out of your hands all the time. It looked like an incredibly uncomfortable layout for a keyboard, but they're back. And the Communicator, I think, is actually really interesting. It is Android powered and it's just a BlackBerry, right? Like it's got a physical keyboard and a square screen above it in the form factor of a normal candy bar phone. They were advertising it as a smartphone companion, like the best companion for your iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't know what a smartphone companion is supposed to be, but honestly, regardless, I don't mind the return of BlackBerry as a concept. So, okay.
I actually did look into this quite a bit just because I am a fan of Mr. Mobile, who is the guy that is one of the people behind Clix. He's been pushing having physical keyboards on phones for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And like they have a 12-minute quote unquote keynote about this. These they made two different products and they're both really very intriguing. But the stuff about this one, they actually did hire the designer for BlackBerry to design this phone. So
yeah,
that's why it looks so much like a BlackBerry, because
it does just look like a BlackBerry. Yeah.
But the thing they were saying with this phone is this phone is for people that already typically have two cell phones. So they're fully admitting this is not for everyone. We're not marketing this for everyone. We're not marketing this as a standalone phone, because as a standalone phone, yes, it will work, but it's not the best experience. They're marketing this for people that either their company buys them a phone and they have their own phone on the side that they want to keep separate, or, different things like that. Or obviously for someone like Mr. Mobile, who just has two phones anyways.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly reviewing phones and has his main phone and his review phone. So, that's who they made this for. And what this is meant to be is something that it, like I said, you can use it as a regular phone, but the screen is relatively small and the interface is not made for that. But, it's made to just be a really quick way to see certain notifications and respond to those notifications and then put it back in your pocket. It's literally, as the name is implying, a communication device.
It's a communicator. Yeah.
And they obviously also named it that way as a, for Star Trek.
A nod to Star Trek?
Yes, because Michael Fisher, Mr. Mobile, is a huge Star Trek fan. So, yes.
Well, hilariously, my phone has been named Communicator for, since the iPhone 5S, I think. So yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I will say, it sounds like, it can function as a normal phone. So what they're designing here for, I guess, the perspective of the average consumer, most of us don't have two phones, I guess, unless you do have a work phone. So I suppose that's possible. Yeah. But otherwise, it's kind of for the folks that are looking for a minimalist phone.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for a phone that just does communication, it's going to give you the ability, but it's not going to lock you down the way that some minimalist phones do, where it's like you can use one app and that's it, like.
Yeah, and it's not like the Books Palma 2 or whatever, it's like an e-paper phone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's like an actual phone that it's powered by Android. You can go and download whatever communication app it is that everyone in your family, like maybe everyone in your family and your friend group is, I don't know, they're still using MySpace for personal messages or something like that. MySpace even have a personal messaging platform?
I don't know.
I don't know. You've all still got Google Hangouts somehow. That's what's happening.
Impressive.
You can go and download that and you can use that. You'll get your notifications. You'll be able to respond to stuff. You'll be able to do all of the communicating you need to do, but it's not going to like try and drag you into hours and hours of scrolling TikTok because the screen is friggin' tiny.
Yeah.
And everything would be in the wrong like ratio anyways, right?
Yeah.
Tall videos would just be the middle of the screen because it's square.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a really cool like device. And we talk about how boring smartphones are these days. This is not that.
Exactly.
And I like that.
And like some of the cool features that I really like about this phone are some things that other phone companies have gone away from that everyone's been begging to have back. One of which is a headphone jack. It does have that.
Oh,
it's got an alert slider. It's that's nice.
Yes.
It's got a fingerprint reader on the space bar of the keyboard.
Oh.
Which is actually a brilliant location.
That's perfect.
Like the other cool thing is the keyboard works as like a trackpad. So like you can scroll.
You can swipe across it. Yeah.
Which they did also do that in the Click keyboard case, but this is they say this is a little bit better. It's smoother to use and stuff. Obviously new design stuff like that. But my favorite thing that I really, really wish other phone manufacturers would come back with, and some companies have, but it's got a notification LED. And the brilliant part about this one is where they put that LED button is in the side power button. So whether your phone is face up or face down, you can see the notification light, and it is also customizable. So you can do it per contact, per app, per, different things, different colors for all these different things. So it's really cool. So it's not just, it's an RGB LED light that you can customize, and right now, if you pre-order the phone, you have to put in a deposit of like $200 or $199, and you'll end up getting it for $399. But the full price of the phone when it does officially launch is going to be $599, I believe. Still not ridiculously expensive, not cheap, but for having it as a secondary type device. But overall, I think it's a great, great phone.
Yeah, I got to be completely honest, listener. I put this in here because I thought it was a cool concept. Landen's giving me all of the specs, and I'm looking at the page right now to reserve one. That is so fetching tempting.
It is really cool.
I got 47 days to decide. Is this my next phone? Because, like what I would be saying is, no, I'm not going to use this as a secondary device. This is going to be my main device.
Yeah. And like, especially if you're someone that really doesn't do a lot of social media, or you want to be like trying to get away from doing a lot of social media, this phone really would be a great option.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm sure you can still do social media on it.
Yeah.
And it would work fine for text-based socials like Blue Sky or Mastodon or whatever, because I assume none of you are on X. That's all just bots.
Yeah.
But you probably would not work super great for your YouTubes and your TikToks and Instagram Reels and just normal Instagram and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get away from that stuff, then I think, that would be pretty effective for that. And I don't have any of that. I have YouTube. I do use YouTube quite a bit, but that's okay. My secondary device can be my iPad.
Yeah, seriously.
Which does YouTube real good.
Yeah.
So, Well, this is an interesting turn of events, listener. I've been sold a phone in real time right here on the podcast. So there you go.
I mean, listener, and also Caleb, if you are more interested in it, I would recommend going and watching the launch video talking about, because like I said, it's only like 13 minutes long. It's not very long. And the other nice thing about it is they literally get right to the point. Like they tell you right up front what it is, what the price, like they tell you the price in 2 minutes into this video. It's fantastic.
Wow. It's almost like one of the founders of the company makes videos for a living and knows how to keep an audience and
has been going to keynotes for the last 20 years and understands how annoying they can be. Yeah.
Yes. Holy crap. Oh, cool. So there you go. Clicks Communicator. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Dell. I mentioned Dell earlier. Let's talk about Dell. So they've brought back the XPS and the Inspiron and a bunch of other stuff.
Yes.
This is a really funny thing that happened with Dell. They kind of started off the week with their CEO, I think it was, or CFO or somebody going on record as saying that, we're kind of backing off on the whole concept of AI PCs. We're not really talking about AI with our PCs anymore because it's become clear to us that is not selling computers. Consumers don't care. Our customers don't care about AI PCs or anything like that. So we're just going to focus on what the actual features and specs of our PCs are and sell them that way. And then they followed that up by basically admitting that their rebrand last year that got them nominated on our podcast for worst tech name of the year was a complete and utter flop. And they've completely rebranded back. Right. So the XPS is back. The Inspiron is back. They talked about their new laptops. There was no AI or there was no Max Pro, whatever. It was just normal flipping Dell. And yeah, that was really refreshing. And their stupidly expensive 6K monitor that they announced isn't like powered by Copilot or something like that. It's just a monitor. It's got a built-in 4-way KVM, which is friggin' sick. And the KVM is set up such that it'll do like simultaneous displays, right? So you can have multiple computers. Well, if you don't know what a KVM is, listener, it allows you to plug in multiple computers to the same set of peripherals, right? Same set of monitors, same mouse and keyboard, stuff like that. You just push a button to switch back and forth between which computer is using them. That's what a KVM is. This built into the monitor, and you can have 4 different machines plugged into it using the same set of peripherals. And it's actually set up such that it's a big monitor, right? This thing, it's 6K, but it's also, I want to say like 47 or 57 inches or something like that. It's huge. And it's designed to do 4-way KVM all at once. So you have one mouse and keyboard and then 4 displays in 4 different quadrants, up to 4 displays in the 4 different quadrants of the monitor itself, so that you can be doing all of it simultaneously. Ridiculous overkill, and 100% the kind of thing that last year, if I had heard that Dell was going to be announcing a 4-way KVM-enabled 57-inch 6K monitor that costs like $3,700 or something like that, I would be like, yes, and it's got an AI assistant in it, doesn't it? It does not. It does not. So are Dell the good guys this year? Weirdly, kind of yes.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I'm rooting for Intel. I'm happy with Dell.
This is odd.
It's a weird timeline that we're in. All right, next up was, this is so strange. This is a company you've probably never heard of before, listener. But they have been around for a very long time. They have gone through some sales and some shakeups, and I don't think that they're currently in the same form as they were when they were originally important. But it seems like the current leadership that just came in there are recently gained control of the brand, I guess I should say, are actually like trying to make the company kind of cool again. So this is Connor Storage Devices. They used to make hard drives back in the day that were like weird and interesting and kind of innovative and stuff like that. the brand kind of disappeared for a few decades there, but now they're back at CES with essentially like a range of mobile storage devices that range from kind of just like a thing that is designed to plug into your phone that just backs up the contents of your phone to stuff that, yes, is a backup drive for your phone, but also has a built-in charger, built-in battery bank, and even a built-in micro SD card slot for expanding your phone's storage. And what a weird, so it's single device that you plug into your phone that does all of this crap. That's a strange way to go about doing mobile storage for phones, but it's a neat concept. Like it's kind of fun. It's kind of strange. The products that they announced are all kind of pre-order right now, and they've talked about how they want to go like in the future. They're going to see how this launch goes with the funding that they have, and then they want to maybe crowdfund some stuff based off of this to see, like, essentially, we've thrown our spaghetti at the wall. We want to see what sticks, and then we're going to crowdfund the stuff that sticks. So we'll see where they go. I'm going to keep an eye on them because they didn't say anything about AI. Is that the only reason? Wow. My standards are low these days.
Oh, jeez.
And yet so few people are meeting them. Anyways. Speaking of people who, this wasn't even technically a part of CES, but surprising companies for me to be on the podcast going like, hey, these guys are cool now. Bose.
Yeah.
I guess I've never really been super down on Bose, but you know, they make some overpriced nonsense. They make a lot of overpriced nonsense, you know, so whatever.
Mm.
However, this past week, they did announce that their Sound Touch speakers are going to be hitting their end of life soon, right? Bose is going to shut them down. They're going to shut down the servers. It's going to be very similar to what happened with Sonos when they EOL'd a whole bunch of their speakers a little while ago. And that, on its face, listener, may sound kind of anti-consumer. So why am I talking about it in conjunction with the Consumer Electronics Show? It's because of what else they announced. That they're open sourcing the platform, publishing all of the speaker specs and API documentation so that users of these devices can have control of them and figure out how to keep them working whatever way makes sense for them. That's sick. Like, That's how you EOL a product.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Yeah, I heard this. I'm like, that is so awesome. Like,
yeah,
do it a complete turnaround from what Sonos did not that long ago. And like, yeah, they saw that and like, we need to avoid that at all costs.
Let's not do that. Yeah. So yeah, Bose. Wild. But hey, I mean, that's cool.
You know, I heard on another podcast, someone was talking about this, and one of the co-hosts was like, I want to go buy some Bose earbuds now just to support them.
Right. Like, that's the thing. I was sitting here, I'm like, I wonder if I could go buy some Sound Touch speakers, because what you're saying at that point is, I wonder if I can buy some open source speakers.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Heck yeah.
And you know they're going to sound good because Bose, you know, makes good sounding speakers and headphones, and like, you know, they don't make bad products.
Yeah. Expensive products.
Yes.
They make very expensive products.
Yes.
Sometimes overpriced, but usually not bad.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, yeah, I'm tempted. I probably won't, but
yeah,
I am tempted.
Now, what's more likely to happen? You buying some old Bose speakers or this new Clix phone?
Oh, I mean, here's the thing. The Bose speakers I could probably find used, so they would probably be quite a bit cheaper. But at the same time, this phone has a headphone jack on it. Man, that's a tough one.
You know, if you bought both, you could plug the phone into the sound system for those speakers.
You're right. Maybe that's what I'll do. I got to get them each. One of each. Man. So yeah, those were the things that came out of CES week. I guess not all of them directly out of CES, but came out of CES week that I was like, hey, you know what? This is actually cool. This is actually fun. This is actually like for consumers that might solve a problem that actual consumers have. And hey, you know what? I'll take it as much as I can get. So, yes. Landon, I know you have some other stuff to add to this list. What you got?
I do have things to talk about. So speaking of clicks, they also announced something else that I thought was really cool that I would actually be potentially more interested in personally. It's not something I'm going to buy, but it would be, of the two, this would be the one that I buy. It's called the Power Keyboard. And this product is more similar to the Clicks keyboard case that they came out with, but this works with any phone with MagSafe, or if you have a Qi 2 ready case or something like that. So the way this works, it's a battery power bank that slaps on the back of your phone that can charge your phone, but then has a slide out keyboard that puts it near the bottom of your phone that you can, type with. And that's pretty cool. Like, that's a good way. Like, you don't have to have it on all the time. It's just like if you want to if you need to type something out that you don't want to use the on-screen keyboard for, you can slap this on the back of the phone, slide the keyboard out, and then start typing. And the other really cool feature about this one is not only does it slide out the bottom of the phone, you can turn it similar to like the LG Wing back in 4 or 5 years ago, where the screen flipped sideways. You can turn the keyboard so like the phone is in landscape instead of portrait. And that's really cool. So,
wow.
I really like this product. I can't remember how much it costs, but like I said, it'll work with any phone that has MagSafe built in, or a case that has MagSafe in it, or something like that. So like if you don't have if you really for some reason were wanting one of these Clicks keyboard cases, but you don't happen to have a phone that they make a case for, this is the solution to that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this that I love is that it allows me to have that LG Wing experience.
Yeah.
Which I've considered buying an LG Wing multiple times.
So have I. So have I, just to have one because it looks so much fun.
So yeah, like now I could just buy this instead and use it with I could turn any phone with MagSafe into the LG Wing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much is this one? Hold on. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, gosh. Okay. The pre-order price is $80.
Yeah.
So it's not a ton.
Not bad at all. Listener, you might notice a theme across the devices I'm talking about. Most of them didn't need to be talked about at CES. They just happened to be talked about at CES. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Motorola announced the Razr Fold. So they've got the regular Razr, that's the flip style phone, but now they've come out with the fold style version of the Razr. And why it took them this long, I'm not entirely sure, but I like that there is now another option in this style of folding phone. They have not given a price, they have not given a release date. They've just said, we're making one, here's what it looks like. It's got a 6.6-inch display on the outside and an 8.1-inch display on the inside. That's about... Oh, and we do also know it's got a trio of cameras on the back that are supposedly all 50-megapixel sensors. So, hopefully not bad cameras. I mean, that would imply that they're pretty good cameras. Again, we don't know for sure because nobody's used it. And we don't even know a price or release date or any internal specs of this phone. So... yeah, that's fun. But I'm excited for it because the regular Razr phones that they've had the last few years have been on the less expensive side when it comes to folding and flipping phones. So if they can keep this on track with that, that would be fantastic. So there we go. There's that one. The next thing I wanted to talk about, Pebble, the smartwatch company, they came out with they called it the Pebble Round 2 smartwatch. So this is basically, I believe they had the Pebble Round back in the day when they were originally a company.
Yeah.
Before Google bought them. This is the second iteration of that. It's basically a Pebble smartwatch, but circular instead of square.
But it's round.
And I actually really like the look of this watch. And it's got that same e-paper display like the regular Pebbles. So the battery life is going to be great. The functionality of it obviously is not going to compare to anything like a Pixel or an Apple Watch or a Galaxy Watch. You know, obviously it's not meant to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you love the Pebble interface and the way those work, but you like the round aesthetic a little more, this one is for you. It's got a 1.3 inch color e-paper display. And it's got a relatively small bezel. It's not huge. So that's nice. Like I said, I think it looks pretty good for what it is. I'm trying to find a price on this. And
I keep forgetting that Pebble is a company again.
I know. And then they announce something. I'm like, oh yeah, that they do.
Like, oh yeah,
they're still there. The price on here says will be $199, and it will be shipping in May. And you can pre-order it on Pebble's website right now. So there you go. This product is something that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see at a consumer electronics show, but I love it. I'm not going to buy it because it is still relatively expensive and I don't need one, but it's a knife, listener. And it's like your typical chef's knife. Like it's that style, like your all around decent used like chef's knife. It's from a company called Seattle Ultrasonics, not the Supersonics, not the basketball team that is defunct and hasn't been there for 20 years. And this product is the Seattle Ultrasonics C200. Now, you might be wondering, as I was, why is there a knife at an electronics show? It's because this thing, I don't know exactly how it works, but it does have power to it, and it's like, it vibrates the blade, but not in like your typical, like, you know, back and forth cutting knife that you see people cutting like turkeys or ham, you know, giant things of ham with, you know. I mean, it looks like your traditional chef's knife. And when it's on, like I've seen videos of this thing, you can't tell that it's vibrating, but it's vibrating so fast. Like the video I saw of it was cutting a baguette, like a big baguette loaf. And those are typically not super easy to cut because the crust is relatively crunchy and hard. And usually when you start to cut that, it presses down quite a bit because
it just flattens out because the inside's really soft.
No, this thing cut it like paper. Like it just glided right through it to the extent that they were cutting like chip size slices of
like
this thing.
Thin slices.
Super thin slices of a baguette.
What?
It was ridiculous. Then I also saw him cutting a tomato, and that's when you could actually tell that it was vibrating because you could kind of see a little bit of a mist from the juice coming off the tomato. But it wasn't like crushing it. It was like, it was just really cool.
That's flipping weird, but okay.
Now, like I said, this knife is not inexpensive. It is $400. But it is also made with like Japanese steel. Like it's a high quality,
it's a good quality
knife.
Chef's knife. Yeah.
And then it also has the not smart, but the electronic functionality to it as well. So
yeah,
the price is kind of justified, but it's not cheap.
The Star Wars Extended Universe has this thing in it called a vibroblade that technically can deflect lightsabers and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, it's a vibroblade.
Yes.
The next best thing to a lightsaber. We ought to get one over to the hacksmith and see if it actually works to deflect a lightsaber. That's that's what we should do.
That would be fantastic. Another thing I just wanted to mention, like we've talked about this, but the Honor robot phone that we mentioned a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
This thing has the little robot on a gimbal that pops out and stuff. The Honor was at CES. They had this phone there. No, they didn't let anybody touch it.
Yeah.
So does it work the way?
Does it work?
We
Who
don't
knows?
know. But everyone was still impressed. Like the gimbal was out and moving around a little bit, I guess, from what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, it does look like it kind of at least functions in some way. Everyone was excited about it. Yes.
Which is honestly, given how the original announcement videos looked like they were AI generated, the fact that there is a phone with a gimbal on it, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still very much like the whole AI aspect of it is the thing that turns me off to it. Frankly,
yes,
if they were to just be like, hey, we've got a phone with a self-stabilizing gimbal on the camera, I'm like, that's freaking nifty.
Like just that by itself is a good reason to buy that phone. You don't need the AI crap.
Forget the AI crap. I just want that. I just want a gimbal on my phone's camera. That's neat.
See, I think the best thing that can happen to that phone is in reviews, everyone craps on how bad the AI is, but how good the camera and gimbal are.
Yes.
If the hardware is great and the software is just meh, that's fine. Because
I mean,
fixed.
and it's an Honor phone too, which means that like it's going to be missing functionality that we expect Android phones to have here in the US because
it's not going to have your Google apps on it.
Blacklisted by the US government. Yeah, we can't. But if there was like an open source port of Android designed to work on this thing that would include the gimbal functionality, but not the AI stuff, that would give you your Google Play services and that kind of thing with it, that would be a pretty cool phone.
It really would be. So here's hoping that the software sucks, but the hardware is great.
Odds are pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah, it's fair. Although, I mean, I don't have my hopes up that the hardware is going to be great. I have. I'm not expecting that to be the case. I really want it to be the case. I just don't think it will be.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now on to some weirder things. And this one is something you definitely should not buy anyone, and definitely not your children. This thing's called a Squeaker. Squeaker, Sweekar. Squeaker. And this is basically if you it's like a new version of a Tamagotchi with AI. And don't buy it. It's weird looking. Like the article I'm reading here is like, it's like a Labubu, but AI infested, and it's
gosh.
Yeah, it's a weird looking thing. And so anything AI obviously is not going, anything like this specifically AI is definitely not something you want to buy. But, and the main reason is like, what are they doing with this data that it's collecting? Because it's going to learn things and it's going to respond. Like it's meant to be a pet, like type product.
Yeah.
Where it can like be a quote unquote friend to you or your child. Yeah, don't buy this. I had to mention it so that you don't buy it. Because
this is your warning. Yeah, I've got to say, I never thought that we would ever see a commercial product marketed to children fundamentally creepier than the Furby. But an AI-enabled Labubu, that's 1,000% creepier than a Furby.
Oh, imagine an AI-enabled Furby.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think Labubus are creepier than Furbies.
That's fair.
I don't like them.
The other thing, like I don't know. I haven't seen how they're marketing this. Like this picture I'm seeing is of an adult using it. So maybe they're not marketing it towards children. It has that aesthetic that it's meant for kids.
Yeah.
But like on this picture, it's got a person holding it and it's got things that supposedly it is saying, and it says, you like chocolate the most. And then you met up with your friends yesterday. And then you were very unhappy on the 15th. Like, what? No, you shouldn't know these things, especially if it's an AI product that's going back to a data center in China, probably. Definitely don't buy this product.
I feel like that, like you've just described the opening sequence to like a Chucky movie or something like that. I don't.
Oh, an AI enabled Chucky? Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Like
it's
if I were to see
Terminator.
that in a movie, somebody talking to an inanimate object that was saying stuff like that at them, that doesn't end well.
No.
Like at all.
Yeah, definitely not. This other product, I want to know okay. Someone had to be high to the extent of like, Wizard of Oz, that type of high, or it's very odd. So this is called the Lollipop Star.
Oh,
and
I did see this one.
Like, I just want to read this. So this article is on androidpolice.com, and I'm just going to read this paragraph that they put about this product. It said, if you've ever had someone's mixtape forcibly put in your hands on the street, you might shudder at the thought of how Lollipop Star could potentially be foisted upon you. Lollipop Star is a sugary treat that also plays a beat. You pop in some foam earplugs, put Lollipop Star in your mouth, and bite down for the miracle of bone conduction to bring you songs by Akon, Ice Spice, and other artists who are working with the brand.
Yep, I hate it. I hate it. Well, and here's my favorite part about this one is, I don't know if you've ever seen the toothbrushes that do the same thing, where like it's designed, it plays a 2-minute song to get your kids to brush their teeth for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And in order for it to be loud enough for them to like actually hear it via bone conduction, they have to push hard enough to actually get crap off of their teeth.
Yep.
So like, I can understand it's trying to encourage kids to brush their teeth better. I have one of those from, at this point, probably 20 years ago, that plays the Transformers theme song.
Nice.
Because I thought it was cool. And it's fun. You can walk up and just push it against like doors and stuff like that. And like hollow core interior doors in the United States make a really great reverberation board. It's loud. It's an amplifier. It's great. So, it's kind of fun to have a toothbrush that plays music. But, toothbrushes wear out. You're supposed to like change your toothbrush every like 6 months or something, 3 to 6 months. And that's really wasteful. But that was still significantly less wasteful than this stupid lollipop thing, because I can take a screw out of the bottom and put a new battery in it so that it'll still work. Like, the toothbrush itself is absolutely hammered from when I was much, much younger. So obviously it's no good as a toothbrush anymore, but now it's just a fun curiosity, right?
Yeah.
Whereas these lollipop things, you eat the sucker. Okay, that lasts a heck of a lot less than 6 months, right? That's like 6 minutes and you're done with the sucker. But then you're like, oh, okay, but then it's just curiosity. You can just like bite down on the stick and you'll still be able to listen to music. Sure, till the battery dies. Non-replaceable batteries can't be recharged. WTF.
I mean, to be fair, it is only $9. I mean,
no, that's not fair. It's still a waste of money.
Yes, I agree. I'm not defending them.
Like that's basically them coming up to you and saying, hey, I want to charge you $9 for this one track on iTunes. And everybody who lived through 99-cent tracks on iTunes will think that's a terrible deal.
Yeah. But you get a sucker in this deal.
No. Like, I'm sorry. I'll go buy a 30-cent dum-dum and a 90-cent track off of iTunes, and I'll still be able to listen to the track after, I'm done eating the sucker. Like, this is such a stupid product, and I hope it dies quickly.
I mean, for less money than that, you can buy a sucker and get Spotify, the free version of Spotify, and just listen to music as much as you want with that,
Yeah. And you know what? If you really, really need it to be via bone conduction, you can get bone conduction headphones and just bite down on them. I don't know. Like,
this is probably not the best advice, listener. Don't eat your bone conduction headphones. I mean, yeah, I'm going to advise against that. You can do what you want, but probably not the best idea. Okay, now some sad news that came in accordance with CES. I don't think this was necessarily announced at CES, But it has been confirmed that Asus is discontinuing the Zenfone and the ROG phone in 2026. Now, the Zenfone kind of makes sense. They didn't come out with one last year or maybe even the year before. And the last one they came out with was a giant phone. It wasn't a Zenfone at all, in my opinion. The Zenfone was always, the best part about it was that it was a small phone with flagship specs. And it was always fantastic.
The last one.
Yeah. And so the last one was a bigger phone. And it was a flagship phone, but it was not a Zenfone, in my opinion.
It was basically just an ROG phone.
Without the gaming aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned in, I think it was last week even, that they didn't come out with an ROG phone last year. It was December of 2024 was the last one they came out with. And they confirmed this week again, yes, the ROG phone in 2026 is not going to be a thing. Now, they didn't say they are fully killing it. It did leave it open to potentially bringing back either of these devices in the future. They're just saying no Zenfone, no ROG phone in 2026. So there is still hopes that they could return. I don't think that that'll happen. Generally, when they kill a product like this, it means they have actually killed the product.
Yep.
So that's too bad.
Bummer.
Now, I saved the best for last. This is the unquestionably best thing to come out of CES. And it is from a company less likely to be at a consumer electronics show than that Seattle Ultrasonics knife company, in my opinion. And this happened, they announced this on the first day of CES. They had a big keynote about this. Like, they had a whole thing. And it made no sense to me until I saw what it was. Lego was at CES. Now, listener, you might be like, wait, why did they come out with some, like, they had some Mario products back in the day that you could connect with your phone. Like, no, not that. That was fine. This is much better. They came out with a smart brick, and it's inside of what they're calling their smart play environment. And the way this works is just, it's a single brick with an NFC little tag that you can put on different products. And it's a 2x4 brick. So it's like one of their standard, small bricks. It's got both sides have RGB lights on it. It's got like the main base of it's black, and then the top is clear. And it's got a chip inside of it that is smaller than a single stud on a Lego brick. So it's really little. And then it's got a bunch of other sensors in it. Like, it's got a microphone, it's got a speaker, it's got a gyrosphere thing in it. It's pretty intense. And they're going to be launching it in, I believe it was in March that they said, with some new Star Wars Lego sets. But the way that they talked about this thing and some of the stuff they can do, I am amazed and obsessed with this thing. Like, I'm a big Lego fan anyways, listener. You might know this. I've talked about it a few times. But this thing is amazing. So the way it works, and the way they were showing it off, like the new Lego sets that they're going to come out with, the Star Wars ones, they're going to come out with a new Lego X-Wing fighter and a Lego TIE fighter. And they had the X-Wing built there, and they're like, hey, they were just showing it to someone, put the brick right here. And then, to turn on the brick, you have to shake it a little bit, and then it lights up, turns on. You put it in the X-Wing, you pick up the X-Wing, and it starts making sound as if it's flying. And you start moving around, and it makes different noises based on how you're flying it. And then you push a little button on the back of the X-Wing, and it shoots. Well, it doesn't actually shoot, but it makes shooting sounds. And it's amazing. And then it can also work with minifigs and different things like that. So they put a Luke Skywalker minifig inside of the X-Wing, and it started talking. Luke started saying things. And then they also put an R2-D2 minifig in the back of the X-Wing, like, you do when you're flying an X-Wing. And it started doing R2-D2 beeps and boops and different things, and it was amazing. And then they were flying it with both of them in it, And one of my favorite parts on it is they were flying it, they tipped it upside down, and Luke started going, ah, as if, we're not supposed to be flying upside down. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then they got another one, put it in the TIE fighter, and started flying them both around, and you could make them start shooting each other. And if, like, you were aiming it correctly, and the TIE fighter hit the X-Wing or the X-Wing hit the TIE fighter, it would, like, make an explosion type sound. It was amazing. So cool. So this is, like, just a new way of being able to actually play with your Legos and have it interacting with you. There was no AI, which thank you, Lego.
Yeah. They were specific, like, yep, no AI.
Yeah.
Sick.
And, like, this isn't just going to be for, at least, like, I haven't got this confirmed. It doesn't sound like this is going to be just for specific sets. Like, because they had other things that they had built there that they put the tag on. Like, they had a little duck there that they put the tag on, and they put this Lego brick on there, and it started quacking. It'd move around, quack. Yeah. You could put it up in the air, and it'd start flying. My favorite part of that one is you tip it on the side, it starts quacking as if it's asleep. It's a sleeping duck. And then they put it on a little car, and you start driving it around. It sounds like a car. If you prop it up on two wheels, like you're turning, like making a sharp turn, it starts screeching like it's on two wheels turning. And you tip that one on its side, and it crashes. It was so cool. Everything about this, I just absolutely love.
Yeah. Well, and like Lego hasn't really talked a whole lot about the future of what they want for this platform, but I mean, this is Lego we're talking about. And if you look at their existing electronic platforms for their toy brick building system, they're all very open, right? Like they have integrated built-in functionality, but they also give you the ability to code stuff. Like it's an open platform that you can edit as an owner of the thing. So I would not be surprised if, they'll have this thing that will integrate with existing sets that'll already have the NFC tags in them in order to elicit specific responses from the brick and whatnot. But they'll probably give you the ability to program the brick to match up with your own NFC tags to get your own stuff out of your own sets. Like, that's kind of how Lego operates.
Yeah.
So I think the real question is, how long after release until somebody's got Doom running on it?
I'd give it a couple weeks at most.
I was going to say, it won't take long.
Yeah, and like the other cool thing about this is like you can if you buy a set that comes with the smart brick and the tag and stuff, you don't have to buy a separate or an additional brick to use it with other sets. Like they were taking the same brick and moving it from different things, like set to set to set. And it was just, it knew what kind of set it was on, and it would just start working the way that it needed to for that set. So it's not like if you buy the Star Wars one, it only works with that. No, it'll work with other sets. So I would assume that down the road, they're going to come out with new sets that have the smart play technology that don't come with the smart brick, or have the option of it, and then if you already have one, you buy the cheaper one that doesn't come with it, or, so that's really cool. And like this article I'm reading from CNET talking about this, they said that their Lego is promising a distributed network across as many bricks and tags as you'd like to connect with, or games, or you could invent where the vehicles know their distance from each other, or, like Caleb was saying, you can do what you want with this. They're like, they've notoriously been a very open company when it comes to things like this, as long as you're buying their stuff, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's the thing is they design everything around play, right?
Yeah.
And they are one of the few toy companies on the planet that recognizes the more open the system is, the more fun it is to play with. And that's why, like, you look at the Lego, like the brick building system itself, it's so intricately thought through to make it such that like every single brick is capable of connecting with every other brick in really bizarre and surprising, interesting ways.
Yeah.
And like, it's a really cool, well thought out system, and everything that they integrate into it operates along that same ethos, right? That same goal. how do we make this good for play? And yeah, man, like no toy companies do that. Other toy companies are solely focused on like, okay, how do we steal the most money from these kids? Or how do we get the most brand deals into our stuff? And like Lego doesn't do that, and they have the most brand deals. So other toy companies, turns out, the secret to the most brand deals and the most money is to make the best toy.
Yep.
Weird.
That's it.
Yeah. And like, so they're going to come out with 3 different sets, these Star Wars sets in March, like I said. And surprisingly, they're not cheap, but they're not like exorbitantly expensive like you might expect from Lego, for one, and also because it's a new smart technology they're coming out with. But the cheapest one is a $70. That's the TIE Fighter, $70 for that. The X-Wing that I mentioned is $100. And then they're going to come out with the 962-piece Throne Room Duel and A-Wing set for $160.
Yeah, how big is the TIE Fighter set? Just like number of pieces.
The TIE Fighter $70 one is 470 pieces, and the X-Wing's 584 pieces. So I mean,
okay,
honestly, price wise, this is what you would expect from this size of a piece.
Yeah,
from a Star Wars Lego
it's
set.
A little bit like normally they're $400 to $500 or 400 to 500 piece sets for big brands like they, big franchises like Star Wars are kind of in like the $50 to $60 range.
Right.
So it's a little bit higher than that, but it
Not
is also including this brick, which is a computer.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's got RAM in it somewhere, and that's probably why.
The RAM itself, it's got like one teeny piece of RAM that's $20 by itself. That would a year ago would have been 2 cents.
Yep.
But yeah, so that, in my opinion, was the best thing to come out of CES. And the other cool thing,
it's pretty cool.
They also took over the Sphere in Las Vegas, and like from across the street, they had a life-sized Lego X-Wing that you could get in and play Lego Star Wars on the Sphere.
Oh, that's cool.
It was amazing. So like you were in an X-Wing and looking at the Sphere and flying around space shooting stuff, and it was I wish I would have been there for that, but the videos looked awesome.
Lego is so cool.
So Lego not only has the best product to come out of CES, but they win CES just in general.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sick.
That is awesome.
That's all I have for CES. I wanted to end it on a good note.
Yeah, no, that's the best note.
It's a great note. That is awesome. Well, I don't have anything to add, I'm going to be honest. So,
wait, you mean Microsoft didn't announce a new Xbox at CES?
No, they think everything's an Xbox. So,
that's right.
The Lego bricks an Xbox.
I don't. That's one thing I can say is not an Xbox.
True.
I'm confident you can't get Game Pass on Lego yet.
Not this one, anyways.
Not this one. But Doom, on the other hand, maybe. But we'll wait for that.
We'll see. Soon.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode, listener. Unless, Landon, you have one more thing for us.
No. Nope.
Awesome. Well, listener, we appreciate you listening to this episode. We appreciate you, whether it's this episode or many episodes, or supporting us. We do appreciate it. And if you want to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us on our social media platforms, as well as callingallplatforms.com. You can also go over to our YouTube channel, check out some of the videos we got there, Calling All Platforms there. All right, listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.